Thank you, Kate, and welcome to BMO Field. Yes, the Argonauts are actually playing a home game, believe it or not. After the FIFA World Cup, they have returned, and it's a rematch here in week number 10 of the Week 5 Throwdown in the Stampede Bowl. Marshall Ferguson, Paul Lapalisse, and of course, Matthew Shinetti is back with us here this afternoon as well. We got a great quarterback matchup for you. It's the first time in 642 days that we have Chad Kelly actually playing at home. Lapo, he's going up against VA, who hasn't thrown an interception in forever, I think is the official statistic.
Amazing. And talk about this guy. This guy loves the deep ball. 16 30-plus pass plays, biggest in the league. And I told him that before the game. I said, hey, you got the most deep ball passes beside Davis Alexander. He goes to me, he's played one more game than me, Lapo. So that was pretty amazing. Looking forward to seeing him put it downfield. Vernon Adams, he's tied with him. 16 deep balls, 9 TDs, 0 interceptions when he's chucking it deep. That's the status of this game, watching these deep shots today.
Dave Dickinson certainly believes that his team is trending in the right direction. He likes that they're becoming a 3-phase football team right now. He says it's not so much about grit, it's about complementary football. And finally, Mike Miller gets a chance to be a head coach and actually coach a home game. I love the quote that he gave us this week when he said, sometimes adversity kind of sneaks up on you. This year, we just saw it on the calendar. We knew how difficult the start of the season was going to be. It has certainly proven to be a challenge for Toronto, but their home has gotten some upgrades, and they are ready to play some home football in front of their fans for the first time in 2026 as we are underway. The double blue going to make the big special teams tackle as Vernon Adams Jr. hits the turf against a team that he absolutely torched back in week 5.
Yeah, 6 touchdowns, 1 rushing, just an amazing game. You and I both did that game, and just watching his ability to take the quick deep throws, short throws underneath, and how he's protecting the football is the biggest thing. You know, we love the touchdowns. Talking to Dave Dickinson, he's like, I love all these touchdowns. Biggest thing is protecting the football. That's how we can win. And it's not about running the football. Last couple of games, they've been chucking the football, and the run game has been complimented.
Been playing with a great amount of patience and presence as well as they hit the ground attack. Dedrick Mills gets the first touch of the ball game. He's surrounded by this Calgary offense.
7-year veteran Zach Williams. Coaches speak so highly about him. Versatility, physicality. He's been a consistent starter at that left guard spot. How about this guy? Dejon Brissett comes back to the home he used to be. 5 years for him as an Argo. 17 touchdowns in his career with the Argos. Last week, 6 for 109 and a touchdown.
He digs in on 2nd and 8. They've been able to avoid this down and distance much of the year as the pocket gets pushed right into his lap, and Vernon throws a strike to the outside as Tavares McFadden lays the lumber on Jalen Philpott, who hangs on for the first down.
Nice throw to the wide side of the field. You have a clear out route on the outside, and then you have an underneath route breaking to the sideline. VA's just watching the outside. The coverage lifts. I can throw out to Philpott. That's a tougher throw than you think because it's so far to the wide side, and you locate it perfectly. Runs for the first. Nice start.
On time, on target is Vernon to get things going here in Toronto. Is this one almost intercepted? It probably should have been. Rashawn Amos almost had it. Vernon goes back to work against this Toronto defense.
This guy's not listed as a starter, Marshall, but he was on his couch 2 weeks ago. Sean Lemon shows up, gets 2 sacks in his first game back. Cameron Judge returns after an injury. He's got 12 defensive tackles, missed the last 2 games. And Benji Franklin leads his team with 2 interceptions. Can he crack Vernon's code? Love watching Benji Franklin play the game.
Once again up against 2nd and 10, 4-man rush, and it's Lemon chasing around the backside. VA feels it and then has to go lefty and pitch it away. It's incomplete, and it's behind the original line of scrimmage, so it will be intentional grounding.
Yeah, this would definitely be intentional grounding. You can throw behind the line of scrimmage. There just has to be an eligible receiver there. If it has to
grounding, Calgary number 3. 3rd down.
So the only way you can see the ball at the -45 here as we roll this, guys. Okay, it has to be, has to have a receiver behind the line of scrimmage. You're going to throw behind the line of scrimmage. Anything else, you just got to get across the line of scrimmage. Okay, obviously that one didn't. Draws the penalty.
They'll kick it away. Ironic that VA had one of of his last touchdown passes in week 5 against the Argonauts with what? His left hand. That time he has to try and chip it away. Takes the flag and a 29-yard punt as well. Chad Kelly, great starting field position as he comes home. The Argonauts quarterback at the controls for head coach Mike Miller for the first time here at BMO. A bye week for the Toronto Argonauts in week number 9, but back in week 8 against the BC Lions. Unusual performance, I would say, despite the high completion percentage. Yeah, that's great. 197 yards, 2 touchdowns. Well, obviously he would have had a lot more if it wasn't for that hit where Darnell Sankey was fined for contact up high, and Chad Kelly was dealing with a neck injury, but feels healthy and happy and ready to go after the bye.
Yeah, looked great throwing, warming up before the game. Talked to him before the game. Wants to protect the football a little bit better.
They hand it off inside, spinning backwards. Ball came out, and is it live? Damon Webb has the football, running away from Mackay Pope, and Damon Webb brought down inside the 5 on the very first offensive play here at home. The Toronto Argonauts give it away as Sam Hicks had the carry and had it popped loose before whistles blew.
Sam Hicks is going to run just a quick tight zone play, and we got to just make sure, see where he is. He's still trying to get the extra yardage before he goes down. We've got to see some other angles of this. Here's a better angle to see. Okay, he's still trying to get the extra yardage. Ball is definitely out there. Like, once you come into contact, you always got to think ball. You got to make sure the ball's close to your body. Obviously, command center with this turnover saw this quickly. Put Calgary back on offense.
Yeah, offense going to work. It was Damon Webb returning, but Kyle Wilson, who had a touchdown last week on a fumble recovery, forces that one. He also had a forced fumble in the game against the Hamilton Tiger Cats just down the road as the inside run goes close to the goal line, but not a touchdown. We talked to him this week, and he did say that on the return touchdown he had, Kyle Wilson, he said, my body felt different than it ever has before. And I thought, man, that makes me think that he's now addicted. He's going to have like withdrawals if he doesn't end up in the end zone against you.
Well, one of the things talking to defense coordinator Bob Slowick, he talked, we got to do things better. We got to play. We got to simplify our stuff so our guys can play faster and make plays. You know, obviously last week 2 defensive scores and putting their offense in a position for a quick score here.
Quincy Vaughn in, short yardage quarterback, and the Calgary Stampeders. They couldn't get it done on their first offensive possession, but again, Dave Dickinson loves the complementary football that is developing in Southern Alberta, and they get it once again as Vaughn plunges into the end zone for the early lead.
And here's why this is so important. We see this Vaughn touchdown. Calgary is playing on a short week. So basically Calgary, because they just played in Hamilton, they stayed in Hamilton. They practiced in Burlington. They had 1 walkthrough practice, 1 full practice, and another walkthrough, and came over and played. And they're playing a team, Marshall, that had a bye week. So they're relaxed. So for them on the road, on a short week, taking on a team with a bye to get this score off the top, huge, huge opportunity for them to take the lead.
Well, fast starts could decide it. Both teams have been perfect this year when leading after the first quarter. Calgary 4-0 ahead after the opening frame, and they start quick here after the turnover.
Football is protecting the football. Turnover margin important. Kyle Wilson forces a fumble for the 2nd week in a row. Damon Webb takes it all the way down to the 3-yard line. Easy for Quincy Vaughn. Easy touchdown on the quarterback sneak. You got to protect the football. The team wins the turnover margin, wins 87% of the time, Marshall. So you got to protect it.
Get another touch. Chad Kelly, obviously, with 1 snap and 1 handoff, hasn't had a throw here at home yet. Already down after 2 possessions for the Calgary Stampeders. Meanwhile, it's Janarian Grant going back to work, kicking his way in between potential tacklers, and the special teams unit for the Stampeders starting to gain some strength as this season in 2026 rolls along as well.
Good return here by Janarian Grant, but I'll tell you, Isaiah Smith, early draft pick early draft pick for this Argonaut team, had a great block. He drove his player 15 yards downfield to open this one up. The lead Janarian Grant, the always explosive and dangerous Janarian Grant out of Rutgers.
The Calgary Stampeders 2 defensive touchdowns against the Hamilton Tiger Cats last week, winning 44-20. Already got a turnover to their advantage here as they go steady. And handoff is, that is Smith getting the touch for a gain of 7. Here's the rest of the Argonauts offense.
Dakota Shepley comes back in after missing a couple weeks ago against BC. The physicality has returned to this O-line. And again, DeMonte Coxey, most targeted receiver on this football team, and leads this team with 13 second down conversions. When they need a first down, they go to this player, DeMonte Coxey.
Kelly looks to throw for the first time. Pump's got lots of room. And he'll cross the 55 and take
That's an early slide.
It gears it down.
Oh my goodness, he's watching last week's film. You know what, I'm going to start sliding earlier, Marshall. What do you think of that?
Yeah, Stamps defense didn't get a chance to touch him. Here they are.
Clarence Hicks, 5 sacks, tied 4th in the CFL. What's the plan for him? What is the Argos going to do to slow him down? We've already talked, Kyle Wilson's already, he had a fumble recovery for a TD, forced a fumble, and already did that tonight. Zy Alexander, 4 interceptions this season, 2 of them against the Toronto Argonauts in week 5.
Look, it's absolutely beautiful as well as they pitch it, trying to get onto the edge. And once again, Smith, chase being given by that defensive line. So quick sideline to sideline, and Hill's the first to make contact.
And the thing Chad Kelly has done a really good job of is using his legs. People think he's a deep ball throw. He's going to stay in the pocket. When he doesn't like pictures, he's going to take off, and that led to that first down. This is a little bit of fake the inside run and then pitch it outside with some blockers. But good chase down for the stop behind the line of scrimmage. Elijah Hills.
Blues' first home game on their field here. Back in the GTA is Kelly fading away, and is it intercepted by Ben LaBrosse? No interceptions in his first 28 career CFL games. Has 3 in one game a couple of weeks ago, and now he's got a 4th.
We knew Ben LaBrosse a couple weeks ago, as you said, had his 3 interception game. Now playing that field corner, the wide side of the corner, the ball is in the air longer. So you have got to make sure you know that the corner's in no position. As the scramble starts, Chad Kelly's going to be late with this throw on the outside as he throws it out to Coxey. It gives Ben too much time. Very fast football player, big, strong, physical. Total extension for that interception. Evened off the takeaways. Gets that nice, even off that to get the second takeaway of this game.
LaBrosse says he wants to make his living in Calgary when he's done playing. Not trying to rush him out of the CFL anytime soon with plays like that, but he really loves Calgary and the area, the environment. Going to the mountains once in a while, says it fits him so much after growing up in Montreal and playing at Vanier College and all the rest. Went to Syracuse, came back home, was at McGill for a year, and was taken very early on in the CFL draft. We asked him after that 3-interception game, do you feel like it validated your draft pick? He said, I'm not trying to prove anything. I just want to make plays.
And I thought it was neat. He talked about one of my time at Syracuse, U.S. football. I really enjoyed the Canadian game. I missed the Canadian game.
Wanted to come home, and he's certainly thriving now that he's got the opportunity with Adrian Green sidelined a couple weeks ago with an eye injury. DA looks to throw, pumps, then over the top, takes the deep shot, hangs up in the air for Clark Barnes. And incomplete. Barnes maybe having a quick discussion about the University of Guelph's athletic facilities with the rest of the Argonauts.
Caesar down there makes a good play on this deep throw. Kind of a double move, but when you have the double moves and you have Caesar, who is already a deep player, hopefully you can check the ball down somewhere. This is kind of a wasted throw. If you see all the way on the outside, it's going to be a start and go, but Caesar's over the top. That's not open. Caesar's got plenty of time to recover and be there. Dangerous throw on the outside. Good stop by the Toronto Argonauts defense on the sudden change play, Marshall.
And dangerous early times here for the Toronto Argonauts as they receive a 56-yard punt. 2 turnovers already, a fumble from Sam Hicks and an interception by Chad Kelly. And the Calgary Stampeders somehow only lead by a score of 7-0. Calgary 9-2, and the rest one of many receivers who is contributing at a high level as they spread the football around, but certainly he has found the sweet spot in defenses across the Canadian Football League, and Chad Kelly really building chemistry with number 15.
Playing that boundary slot, Marshall, you got to be able to do a lot of things. You got to be able to adjust your routes. You got to recognize coverage, sit in zones, and I think he's done a great job. Like last year, if you remember, Rashid Bailey was starting in that spot. Young player Mackay Polk shows up. They said, this is going to be the guy who's our future. Done an outstanding job.
as they'll pump. And then now looking for a double move. Coke, see, and dropping it over the top. The ever-aggressive Chad Kelly goes right after Ben LaBrosse after he had the interception. A gain of 36.
This is a spectacular throw and an amazing catch. This is a sluggo on the outside. Sluggo's called slant and go, but watch this ball get tracked in the air. Watch his high hands, gets one hand up and goes to make the play.
Go quickly back to the line and throwing in between traffic. Looks like one of those Mackay Poke plays we just played for you, running that little in-breaking
Little
route.
bender right there around the linebacker. So they went tempo because they weren't sure if this was a total catch or not. I'm sure Coaxey made an amazing catch, but just to be sure, they get up quickly, call a play, no huddle. Poke wraps the linebacker for the nice throw.
All of a sudden, here comes the tempo of the Argonauts offense. Dave Unger gets tackled up high. Flags fly and tag that onto the end of the play. As Toronto's offense, sitting dormant with a couple of turnovers here early on, has awoken in a massive way.
Love what you do with David Unger here. Put him to the wide side of the field. Put all the receivers into the boundary, so that basically creates a one-on-one to the wide side. And it's really a run play with an option for Chad to throw it out on the perimeter.
Major
Locates it
foul,
perfectly.
unnecessary roughness. Calgary number 33. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Zy Alexander just goes and tackles high. You can't tackle him high there. Kind of like a clothesline right there. So he draws the penalty, puts the ball at the 5.
What did the Argonauts do here deep inside Calgary territory with all the momentum downhill?
They're going to throw it, Marshall. If I'm a betting man,
Rip it.
they're going to keep ripping it.
Haven't said Kevin Natal's name as of yet. He's in motion. They'll fake the end around. Kelly boots, goes underneath, and it's into the end zone. Touchdown. Sam Hicks had the fumble on his first touch of the ball game. Now he's in the end zone as the Argonauts set to tie it up with their first TD back here at home.
With so much man-to-man down inside the 5, you love all these misdirection, naked bootlegs. This is one off of a reverse look. A lot of teams in the CFL will run this. All right, you're going to have one player coming back to pretend to block. You're going to have a reverse. You're going to fake the reverse. But in all that, you got a guy on the flat. Look at all those lines there. That's hard to see. I left those lines up there. You see, that's what the defense has got to fight through. All those lines like that, that's crazy. So just looking through, it's just a naked with a lot of window dressing. I always call that, make it difficult for the defense to follow all those people. Nice throw for the touchdown on the misdirection play.
4 plays, 94 yards in just over a minute. They started out icy, but they got fired up extremely quickly. Call the fire department, Lapo. The Argonauts offense has arrived.
Let's go.
Kilometers plus traveled. That's down to Matthew Shinetti, who has more.
Yeah, I can understand what that travel is like over the last few months, Marshall, but I actually think about what happened to the Hamilton Tiger Cats when they were in Guelph back in 2014. The Argos can understand too, but the fact is Mike Miller is a first-year head coach, and they had to travel between Guelph and the rest of the country, and what didn't the Argos deal with? Injuries, logistics, being an attendant in a place that's not their own. They had to be out of the Guelph facility at 4 p.m. on Tuesday. Then they have to teach the rookies how to get into BMO Field on Wednesday. But the one thing, we talked about philosophy, Marshall, didn't we, when we were speaking to Mike Miller? Smart, fast, and physical. And the fact is, even though they had those 2 turnovers to start their return home, an explosive response back, and on the Argos sidelines, a lot of calm, a lot of emotional energy to get here through the first 7 weeks. But it feels like the Argos are ready to roll, Marshall.
Yeah, you know that as well as anyone, Matthew, as we see the return here from Tyreek Allister, the number of times that the Argonauts and their offense, you know, it seemed like, well, the game's kind of getting away from them. 3 plays later, touchdown, right? That's who they are.
And if you remember, we did a game early in the year and we talked to Flo Remolade, now in Calgary, and he just said, hey, when I played with Chad Kelly, we knew as long as Chad's on the field, we've got an opportunity to win the game no matter what's happening. So that he provides that confidence. You see that drive downfield for the touchdown.
I'll tell you the other thing that they came home to, GTA is swampy, man. 25 degrees right now, feels like 34. That's not rain on Shinetti down there. It is hot. Down at field level here, the grass at BMO, soggy from a storm that rolled through a little while ago, but somehow 0 wind right now. Great conditions to throw the football if it is dry for Vernon Adams Jr. as it bounces off the hands of Quincy Vaughn incomplete.
And then one more point about the Argos. you talked early on about, I talked to their coaches about it. I said, well, how was it? Was it a logistics nightmare? And some of the guys actually liked it. Some of the players are like, you know what? We didn't have to fight through the traffic to get into our facility at BMO Field. We knew the consistent practice field we were going to be. It kind of, some teams can bond very well in those situations, Marshall. And those are great opportunities. And again, the biggest thing for your coaching staff is, hey, it's out of our control. Let's just do our best to win our games.
Defense trying to dig in and answer some of the turnovers created by their opponents today as Vernon Adams Jr. in trouble, and he'll just take a seat. And Ralph Hawley, the closest man, who will get credit for a sack. Big 99 in the backfield, but that one all over the place for the Calgary offense.
So it's a little bit of penetration here that starts Vernon moving. Sonia Tawai, he's the one who creates that. And for 2 series in a row, we've had some movement on the defensive line that it really forces Vernon to get off his feet. You're always just trying to get a quarterback determined off his spot. He wants to drop back, be at 8 yards, make that throw. We're moving him off his spot, can't get looked downfield.
56-yard punt, and the special teams coverage is excellent from the Calgary Stampeders.
The CFL on TSN is brought to you in part by The Score Bet, an official gaming partner of the CFL.
Toronto Argonauts with the football in their possession. This offensive line looking to carve out some space for the running game, leading to play action, misdirection, that being the story of their last quick 4-play touchdown drive as Kelly fakes the run and then off the mark, trying to throw Dave Unger open away from Ben LaBrosse, who's getting all kinds of targets here in the first quarter.
I'm not sure what just happened here, but if you watch right here, left guard Ryan Hunter just kind of lets go the defensive lineman and gives Miles Brown a free shot on the quarterback. Probably prevented the accurate throw to David Unger.
You don't like your offensive lineman getting to the second level in the pass game?
Probably not. And if you're going to do that, you better have your tackle there to block the B gap. Somebody block the B gap, please.
A little discombobulated outside of that one big touchdown drive as now Kelly throws into a hole, and it's intercepted. Anthony Johnson. It's the 3rd Argos turnover of the first quarter.
I talked off the top of the show that Chad Kelly does have a bunch of deep shots this year. He's got 5 touchdowns, but he's got 4 interceptions throwing it deep here. There's a lot of guys congested downfield here. You've got a flood route with a lot of people, and he tries to throw it over too high. When you try to throw it over a linebacker to get it to Coxie, you're trying to spot it perfectly, and then if it goes too high, you got Johnson right above it. You just sometimes got to have the check down throw. It's just too high over Coxie, trying to get to Coxie. Coxie's covered. Too difficult to throw. Sometimes you got to get a check down. Another turnover here.
Toronto is challenging that there was pass interference on the play. We'll review the play.
I wondered what kind of Argonauts club, to Matthew Shinetti's point about coming home just a few minutes ago, would appear here in this first quarter, because you talked about them even in the pregame being, they basically go to campus at Guelph, and then they go their separate ways, and then they have to reconvene, and then they have to figure out logistics. And then when you're doing all those things, Lapo, you've been a head coach in this league, it's hard to just do the basic X's and O's and feel like, oh, okay, I know where the sticks are here because I'm used to playing with this field.
Yeah, they certainly coming out of this bye doing a lot more than just getting rested and relaxed. You watch this all 2-4. You're basically trying to get Coxie right into that space. I'm going to draw that. And again, there's just people covering the deep ball. I'm not sure whether he's trying to get to Coxie or the deeper player, but when you look there are 4 players in that space. You've got to throw your underneath check down when they put too many people in that spot. You see Coach Miller sitting there talking about, like, here you go. You can see this is a vertical stretch in the middle of the field. Okay, right there. There's the number 1. There's the number 2. But you have an underneath throw. You've got to make sure you can take, instead of trying to force it over the top of those people.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Toronto will be charged a timeout.
And they lose the challenge as well as having those 3 turnovers. So Anthony Johnson, who had a standout game against the Hamilton Tiger Cats just last week, continues to make an impact here in week number 10, kicking things off on a Thursday. Chad Kelly tied for the worst in the CFL with interceptions, 9 coming in alongside Ottawa's Jake Mayer. And now he's got himself up to 11 out of the first quarter of action as Vernon Adams Jr. rolls to his right, pumps, and VA is going to use the legs and slides his way through the BMO grass.
I like 2 of our stars are sliding early, Marshall, on their scrambling. Once again, the Toronto Argonauts defensive line is saying, we are going to move you off your spot. We're going to get some penetration here. Really good push by Jonathan Kongbo. Hendricks loses contain. VA gets around it, then slides early. Creates a second and short.
Bringing Quincy Vaughn, who has the touchdown for the Stampeders earlier on this game, and he pulls his way through the line of scrimmage. And I think hidden by the fact that the Argonauts have turnovers, Calgary's getting short fields. Vernon Adams Jr. is 1 of 4 for just 10 yards at this point here in the end of the first quarter, after having a pretty slow statistical game against the Hamilton Tiger Cats as well. So Toronto's defense, while it's being overshadowed by their offense, giving away the football, is actually doing a good job against VA, who's been explosive this year.
Yeah, I mean, they're not on the field for those turnovers. So, and then they get placed on these short fields. Ball at the 3-yard line. You see Greg Quick, their defensive coordinator.
Toronto leading in net yards after that one big drive as well. 102 to just 27. They'll tag a few more on here for the Stampeders, up around 30 yards total in this first quarter as we near a minute remaining.
When I talked to Greg Quick about what he wanted to do, Greg Quick's in his first year as defensive coordinator, came over from Montreal. He talked about the quarterbacking is so good in this league. Some of our coverages that we just can't play simple zones where they can just recognize where to throw the ball in every play. We need the quarterback to hold the ball just a little bit, and that gives enough time for the defensive lineman to get home. Really talking about his D-line, need that one extra bit of timing so the quarterback can't get his first read. And it's showing up tonight.
What's coming from the Argonauts? VA rips this one to the back of the end zone, and it's not enough. Couldn't get enough mustard on the rock. And Vernon Adams Jr. has finally thrown an interception. The streak will end at 299 passing attempts.
What a crazy number that it ends at 299, first of all. Just a little underthrow here. He's taking the one-on-one on the outside, but Benji Franklin's there. He recognizes early. The biggest thing for the DB, can I get my head turned around, and then can I high point it? Once you get the ball in this situation, you see the ball up in the air, the DB just turns into a wideout, and can I win the jump ball? Tevin Jones, no position to make even a play on it. It's a little bit underthrown. Great play by Benji Franklin, going up and get it, playing receiver.
Chad Kelly with another opportunity here, gifted by his defense. Dave Unger makes the grab, tried to cut back to the outside. I guess the strange black magic of this whole situation is 307 days. That's the last Vernon Adams Jr. interception. We're here for the Argonauts in their home game. 307 days since.
All right, let me repeat that. 307 days since VA threw an interception. 307 days since the Argos played at home. Kind of weird, spooky stuff.
Halloween here?
Yes.
Chad Kelly throws underneath, complete on second and short. Nice catch by Mackay Polk.
It's 2nd and 2.5. Let's throw a hitch. Right? This is what this team is. Throw the football with Chad Kelly.
Find a way and spread it out. But a chaotic first quarter here as the Double Blue return home after an extended stay up the road at the University of Guelph. The Calgary Stampeders doing everything they can defensively to drag their team to victory here in Week 10. Road, Dusseldorf, baby.
Tonight, after this game, I'm heading out on a plane, and the men's and women's team flew out yesterday to Dusseldorf, Germany. They're there. We'll have a couple of days of practice. We will start our games on the 13th. We play Austria to start on the men's side, then the next day Japan. You got to win first or second your bracket to move on, and then go from there. And 2 Olympic bids are given out this season. The United States already has theirs because they're a host city in men's and women's. And then basically the next 2 highest seeds. So you can see we're with Austria, the 2nd-ranked team in the world. Our first game, Japan, Canada, Nigeria. All right, the winner will play Group A. So we're looking forward to playing. We're pretty excited. We had a good 3-day training camp last week.
Chad Kelly looks to throw, and he'll fake it twice. Why not? Slide down in front of Kyle Wilson. I would too. He already forced a fumble in this ball game, but exciting week for you in the team. That's great stuff, and looking forward to seeing how the results go. We'll be following along closely.
Yeah, been a lot of work. We have a huge staff that's gone out to Dusseldorf to help the players get ready and prepared, and we're excited. Some CFL names you'll remember: Daniel Peterman, Michael O'Connor, Marc-Antoine Dubois. So we've got a really good roster, and we're going to go compete for the goal.
You have half my university receivers. You just
Daniel Peterman.
You just got a much better quarterback.
Yes.
Yeah, that should be good for them.
Then some guy named Marshall something. Wore a Batman shirt everywhere.
A fantastic squad. Love being able to see men's and women's Team Canada flag football off to Germany as Chad Kelly is back to work after the scramble. A nice move in the open field. Monte Coxie running free and past Damon Webb, who finally brings him down. And that little get skinny move right at the catch for DeMonte Coxie that sprung him.
So the vision and the timing that Chad makes this decision on throwing this ball on the outside. What's going to happen is there's a post here and everybody stays in on the post. Where's the one-on-one? On the perimeter. He sees it immediately and throws the one on the outside.
Dangerous throw by Kelly that was almost tracked down by Derek Longfried, who is a very tall and long linebacker. Almost reached that one, but the Argonauts make something out of nothing, and Kelly trying to communicate his frustration there as the rain, you can see, continues to fall here in Toronto.
Yeah, just how quickly he makes decisions on a play 2 plays ago. Finds where the one-on-one is and then locates it, and he throws it early enough. That's why Coxie had the extra yardage. When quarterbacks throw the ball on time, that's when yak yards come. If you're late, it's catch, tackle. He's seeing basically the one-on-ones on the perimeter.
Sends the receivers in motion, empty it out, and flicks it underneath, and it's Mackay Polk somehow turning what looked like an intended design tunnel screen into a reverse, and Calgary's defense with Bob Sloak all over. RJ Moten's been getting a ton of reps the last couple of weeks, and he makes the play there.
Yeah, quick screen pass, trying to keep it safe, I think, here. You're in close field goal range, so they called a middle screen play. Didn't get a lot of yardage on this, but they're kind of protected, make sure they don't take the sack, and they still get good yardage here. Some of these middle screens, it's just, I don't like calling them, Marshall, because the D linemen are just so athletic. In the middle, put the screens on the perimeter, don't put them in the middle of the field.
Up and getting pushed, missing to the right. Toronto will not get the triple, and now a dangerous return man as any in the CFL. Tariq McAllister, good job in coverage down the field, being able to make sure that McAllister does not get away.
Kassar with a great tackle, great special teams tackle there. The former linebacker now playing fullback for the Toronto Argonauts.
A bit of everything. Former Carleton Raven Vernon Adams Jr. in a tie ball. It's the stat really of the entire season, I would say at this point, that we have been tracking. Davis Alexander being able to have that all-time consecutive pass attempts record without an interception, and Vernon Adams Jr. was chasing him. I don't think that Darian Durant was going to catch him anymore. So it was only VA for right now that was threatening, but that of course ended just a few minutes ago.
Yes, that's the stat of the game. Fisher Investments, if you made that investment of maybe a little wager that he would go 300 without an interception, would have made a lot of money.
Bad beat though to go 299. Just shy as VA starts a new streak, because you always talk about Lapo here having the board, and now he gets pulled down from behind. And that was a bit of a
wary about getting pulled down from there. How he is, he's good, got right up.
Dwayne Hendricks.
Once again, really good push from the front. You see Hendricks here. Ralph Hawley's mixing in. And again, the width of the pocket is designed by the tackles, but the depth of the pocket, you see Hendricks driving Chris Fortan back. The depth of the pocket has to be created by the guards. And when you have big defensive linemen, Ralph Hawley, that can create a vertical presence, puts the quarterback in an uncomfortable position, Marshall.
See Ralph Hawley and Dwayne Hendricks getting home, but how about Sean Lemon still disrupting at his veteran status? as they screen this one out. Big collision, but rolling through it is Dietrich Mills. And it'll be third down, comes up about 4 or 5 yards shy of the sticks.
Safe screen pass. Don't want to turn the ball over backed up. So simple pass. Try to get the first down yards. If you don't, help your defense. Punt it away. Live to recover after the loss of yardage. Hard to convert on those second and extras.
About to say this is a significantly different game than when these two teams met in week 5, because Calgary scored 58 points, but they only had 8 in the first quarter. That one is now Janarian Grant free, runs through 2 tacklers. It's a race to the end zone. Grant wins it. Touchdown Argos.
This is a good kick right over on the sideline, but the blocking on this boundary return is excellent. We pin everybody inside. We get a lead blocker on the outside to go take one-man miss in for the touchdown. It's always these boundary returns. You like the boundary returns because the ball's kicked to the boundary. You can get north-south right away. Put it in his Janarian Grant's hands. He's going to make great things happen.
Janarian Grant has been a special player for quite some time, as this extra point here as well. Kick returns his specialty, certainly, as Grant continues to stake his claim as one of the best returners in the entire CFL.
My life wasn't
almost 17 yards per punt return before that one. Taking it up the sideline, Philippe Gauthier, and then a lead block. Derek Sluka gets a huge lead block, and then it's all speed from there. These boundary returns are dangerous when you can pin the defenders inside, and all you got to be there is just for a second till the returner runs by. Ochichalaya, who's having a great year on special teams for Calgary, can't get him. Janarian Grant, one of the best in the business.
Second punt return touchdown of the season, came in tied for the league lead with 4 returns of 30 yards or more as well for Janarian Grant. His nice special teams coverage as well being supplied by the Argonauts, trying to answer in each and every phase at this point for Mickey Donovan.
Mickey Donovan right there, special teams coordinator. Nice job of this unit. And the weird thing about the Toronto Argonauts, and you know, I started my career, Marshall, with the Toronto Argonauts, and then went to a bunch of, you know, I've been at a bunch of different teams here. The Argos always were a team that sometimes they weren't in the game, and all of a sudden a huge special teams play would happen, and then all of a sudden they put themselves in the lead. Always been a staple of Toronto Argonauts. Great special teams.
Brian Harold-Lamana, 6th year at the University of Montreal, talks things over with Mickey Donovan on the sideline as it was Caesar that made the big special teams tackle. This Calgary offense is being completely stymied right now by the Argonauts team.
Is it the bye week? Is it short? If one team on a bye, one team on a short week? You can see Dave shaking his head, going, I have not been in a second and short all game. This is their problem. They're not getting yardage on first down, so they're put themselves either in second and extra or second and 9.
I can't remember the last time a team came out of a bye week and their offense and defense looked as different as the Argonauts do in this first half. Usually it's a team-wide situation, but the two units acting completely different here today as Jalen Philpott makes the grab.
Good recognition of the coverage here. And all you're doing here, when you can recognize Gauthier right here, you got to see him. He's going to go high. He's going to have a hitch. He's going to have a hitch. And you just watch number 9. What does 9 do? You just play off him. He expands. You throw the inside throw. Very easy for the quarterback to see. Jalen Philpott sitting down in the zone.
Hands it off. Dietrich Mills tries to get around the corner, and right there, downhill on back-to-back plays. Was just about to mention Bubba Bolden, who's been so active for the Argonauts over the last 2 games. Went without a tackle in his first game as an Argonaut this season, but 21 total tackles over his last 2 appearances. 10 against Hamilton week 7, 11 against BC.
I love this. We're going to get a kick out, and we're going to get Quincy Vaughn coming too. Now watch, Dietrich Mills following his blocker. there. See how he's got his hand on Quincy Vaughn? He's waiting for him to kick out and then get north-south. That's how you get 7-yard gain. Letting the 2 kickouts happen, and then get north-south with your shoulders down the line of scrimmage.
Vernon against just a 3-man rush, has all day to throw, can't find anybody, and finally will check it down out to the wide side and going for a race down the right rail, trying to hurdle over the top as well. It's complete and running free down that sideline.
The Moose!
Yeah,
the Moose is loose!
Back in the action, Damien Alford, former first overall pick.
So what happens on some of these plays in zone is if the protection holds up this long, sooner or later the zone's going to break down. These are 2 crossing routes. He's looking around. He doesn't know where Damien Alford is, and then at the last second he just throws it. Here's a little bit what I like to call a Roger Craig move, where you raise your legs up. Nobody knows who Roger Craig is. Anybody watching? I remember Roger Craig too. Make Darkangelo miss and get the big game.
Love the reference. Didn't know Craig got credit for the move, but I love
He gets credit for picking your knees up. Roger Craig was the best to pick your knees up. When you have a defender going at your legs, Roger Craig make that defender miss.
6 that time for Dietrich Mills. Again, Bob Holden downhill, but great to see Damien Alford not just back producing, back in the CFL as well after having a stint down south, but also it felt like all he did in his rookie year that was so sensational that got him to look down south was he just scored touchdowns. He wasn't really a consistent contributor to the offense, making plays like that in the middle of the field.
Yeah, and just super. When we interviewed him, loved him last year, talking to him. Just great addition to this Calgary Stampeders team. Had him along with Jalen Philpott.
His first catch since coming back to the Calgary Stampeders as well. Great to have young top-end talent with the Canadian background like Damien Alford is the running game.
And this is a similar game plan to the last time these 2 teams played. I really thought the Toronto Argonauts defense in week 5 did a good job stopping the run and not getting anything going in the run game. And then Vernon started using his legs and started using his arm to make the plays. So, hey, this is a team that runs for more yards than anyone in the CFL, the Calgary Stampeders. You better start with stopping the run and then make the team one-dimensional.
Hamby from 27 yards away. Lines it up. Argonauts going through some kicking struggles. Again, one of the many storylines in this ball game. A little bit shuffled back in the deck because of the big news of their homecoming here today at BMO Field. But Calgary knocks it through. Smooth as butter without René Paredes at the controls. And Calgary leads on the road.
Leon's Flash Sale on.
Involves a little bit of this and a little bit of that. A trip to Regina, then you keep going further west.
Couple home games.
Calgary,
Winnipeg home game.
Winnipeg back. Oh, you know what? Let's play in Hamilton. Oh, BC. That one hurts the body. Then all the way back home, back to Guelph, and finally they can unload the moving trucks here at BMO. Been a bit of an odyssey.
Excellent. There you go. A little bit of an odyssey. You do the same every week, just on a motorcycle. That graphic would be the same. It would just be a motorcycle.
I think theirs was more difficult spiritually, maybe. They're tough on the soles. This one hard on the body as well. Clarence Hicks came clean on Chad Kelly. Never saw him, but certainly felt him.
Just beat, coming off the left-hand side of the edge, just beat Desmond Bland. Just comes by with a speed rush. You can see it right there. Misses on the hands and then breaks inside position. You can't give up the inside as a tackle. You've always got to make sure you have your post foot in the ground. What's a post foot? The inside foot. You can't give up that inside foot. Force him around the quarterback.
Clarence Hicks consistently one of the most explosive players in the pass rush in the CFL as Mackay Polk makes a great grab and then dives forward right at the sticks. Had to get to the 50, and I think he picked it up by maybe half a yard. I'm not sure if he was aware, but regardless, tremendous gain after the loss.
Yeah, really nice execution here of what's called, a lot of CFL teams call this a poison route. He's going to go up and he's going to break out, and it's going to force them outside and then go back inside for the throw.
Real quickly once again, Dave Unger.
And the Argos do not want to replay today because they're going tempo every time we try to draw something.
They're like,
right? So they're like, hey, Lapo, stop drawing.
Lapo's going to Germany. Let's not make him draw today, guys. Mike Miller said, you know what, let's make it easy.
And you know, going tempo at times through the course of the game, one of the things you like about, there's 4 minutes left. It's a change-up. You're going to try play faster than the defense, but more than anything, it simplifies your play calls when you go tempo. You don't have as many play calls. So little change up here, trying to get some rhythm for this offense.
That was something Ryan Dinwiddie used as well with Chad Kelly at various points, was keep it quick and simple. Let him just play. Let Chad Kelly's arm talent come to the surface as Alexander tackles Dave Unger. See a little head nod in your living room at home or wherever you might be watching on this Thursday evening, but a flag flew at the snap of the football. Wherever you might be watching on this Thursday evening, but a flag flew at the snap of the football.
Offside, Calgary number 25. That penalty will be declined. The result of the play is a first down.
You can see the respect the Calgary Stampeders have for Chad Kelly, his arm. This previous play, David Unger is in a man coverage position with Zy Alexander. Bob Sloak saying, hey, we're gonna force man coverage. They played man coverage across the board. Well, you get worried about man coverage, but they put 2 deep safeties, trying to get physical up front. And when you're physical, you force the quarterback to hold the football. But still a great located throw by David Unger, to David Unger.
Jaden Grant there, our CFL TSN crew showing you who had the penalty, and now it's like a holding call as Kelly goes for a run and will get wrapped up and thrown backwards. Kyle Wilson all over the field for this defense.
When quarterbacks break contain and take off.
Holding, Toronto number 62. 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
Ryan Hunter draws this foul. Just basically what happens is as the quarterback starts to scramble, Ryan Hunter thinks he's 7 yards. You'll see Ryan Hunter right here. He thinks he's 7 yards deep in the backfield. So as the movement happens, right there you see him. You can't be high on the offensive tackle. It really had nothing to do with him scrambling. It was just a really bad hold on a hook.
And now they rip to the outside as Unger gets the touch, cuts back against traffic. A nice solid gain on first and long after the penalty, the hold against Ryan Hunter. I did mention as well Kyle Wilson making that tackle, and it's interesting. He said we have to understand Chad Kelly's tendencies because I think we can take advantage of some of them. I wonder if the endless pumping down the field and trying to convince people you're going to throw might have been one of those that they learned. As we've hit the 3-minute warning here at BMO Field, and the Argonauts looking to tag a major on at the end of the first half and maybe pick up a little bit of momentum, fuel a crowd that's made their way here to the home opener in August.
We're going to talk about those INTs. VA, you jinxed it, everyone.
Did it. He threw it.
Run defense, and we have a special guest, Travis Tice, going to stop by, chat. Hit me.
Thank you, Kate. Yeah, the
Special guest.
the rare VA interception.
Yes. He's a special guest in the studio. Is it Rennie?
Find out coming up. 3 minutes time. Oh, and this one's going to go against Clarence Hicks. And just to be a good teammate.
A good smile by Clarence Hicks right there. Yeah, I went early.
Offside, Calgary number 1. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
But after they had that loss on the holding call at first and long, they got half it back.
You're not supposed to go that early.
I love that Charles Wiley said,
Now,
you know what?
Here's why he went, though. If you saw Kevin Mittal right next to him, he started to run up with his waggle. He went off the waggle, forced the offside. So he's got to keep an eye on the ball, not the receiver outside it.
Four-man rush, and Kelly gets it away to the outside on the money. They do convert. Devontae Coxie makes the grab, and you go back before the 3-minute warning, and that is a well-earned chunk of yardage back after.
You have all kinds of different reads, Marshall. You have down the ladder reads, horizontal stretches. Chad Kelly might be the best at what's called an inside-out read. If the inside slot's covered, I'm taking the one-on-one on the outside.
They go quickly once again. Kelly rips this one, and inside out, you talk about it, right on
Takes
cue.
the inside now. The inside's open, he takes the inside throw. So good speed, processing skills by Chad Kelly. And again, what I love is in this game, he's got two big scrambles to keep drives alive. So he takes this. This is quick game. They run hitches. He's not going to take a drop because he's already in shotgun. Just catch it without the laces and then locate it to Pope. Nice catch by Polk's, a little bit behind him.
Amazing when you see it in slow-mo. Chad's eyes weren't even there before his throwing motion already started. 10th play of the drive here. As Kelly has 4 receivers to the left. He goes back to the one on his right and vertically. They love to go to DeMonte Coxey. Couldn't split the coverage of Jaden Grant and Ben LaBrosse.
And you're going to get this from Chad Kelly. They basically put 4 receivers to the left into the short side to try to get a one-on-one on the outside. And they did have 2 players over there, but Chad's sometimes just going to trust his ability to throw in tight windows in between 2 players. You can see this throw right here. It's just very Jaden Grant's right there. LaBrosse is right there. That's why he has thrown some interceptions, but he's made some great throws. The touchdown's doing the same thing.
As the kick is up, and this time good. Brady Lister, St. Thomas, Ontario, knocking it through the uprights. Get ready for the most anticipated series of the summer. From DC Studios comes Lanterns, the gripping new murder mystery inspired by the iconic Green Lantern universe. Streams August 16th only on Crave.
I believe there's more than one Green Lantern if you have the ring. Multiple people have the ring.
Really?
They can be the Green Lantern. Yes.
And how does one acquire the ring?
Don't know that. I'm not a DC comic. I'm more of a Marvel comics person.
At Paul Abalise on social media is where you can educate Paul. And those guys have rings.
Yes.
Banners flowing gently here in the breeze. That BMO field. This one almost, maybe if it wasn't knocked down, Eric Brooks could have been intercepted.
A little early on this throw. I wish Vernon would have held this, because I think Eric Brooks would have had great opportunity in the middle of the field. They went to an empty protection. You go spread everybody out, and then you run a little option route. Wish you could have held it a little bit longer, give Brooks an opportunity. That would have gone for some yardage if they were able to get it.
Caesar was ready to field the punt. He was headed straight between the 2 and the 8 on his uniform, and Brooks didn't get a hand on it. Leaves 2nd and 10 from their own 40-yard line, trailing by 6. And VA finds an open receiver, waiting for it. And Clark Barnes able to keep it off the turf in front of Bubba Bolden.
I can't tell you how great a catch this is by Clark Barnes. He's running away from the football, and the ball's low, and he ends up having to pick it up off the ground. This is a corner out to the wide side of the field. You can just roll it, guys. And he sees the defenders too far inside that I can go make this play. If you roll that catch back, this is spectacular right there. To be able to make that catch as the ball's going down with your hands down, that's a special catch by Clark Barnes.
And Bubba Bolden keep punching at it. At the same time, your hands are awkward, your body's twisted around, they're swiping at it. This time they just keep it simple. On the ground, Dedrick Mills right in between the tackles, and he spun backwards. Thought he might have had just enough daylight to spring that one for a major.
I think I've done 4 Calgary games this season, Marshall. I think they've hit a huge draw play in every game. So they got to keep calling. Pat Delmonte's got to keep calling this play. You fake on the outside, let the pass rush get upfield. They've had issues with the pass rush. Get the draw play going. Make big plays downfield.
And they go tempo once again. Jalen Philpott, and he hasn't had huge production here today as he takes another wallop from Caesar. But he's been hanging on to the football despite contact. Minute 29 remaining.
Now you start slowing the ball down. Now you're 2nd and short here. You got plenty of time with 1:26. What you're trying to do if you're Dave Dickinson is like, all right, I would call this squirrel. We're gonna squirrel away all the time left on the clock, okay, and then score a touchdown. Leave Toronto no time for 2 passes and a field goal.
Junior deep drop against pressure, goes to the underneath crossing route. Mills looks like he caught it, and it will be Dave.
This is a good thing.
On the spot.
First down. Actually, this is even better. It's 3rd and 1 here, so they're in a 3rd and short situation.
You happy about this as a coach?
Yeah, because now you're going to convert this at a high percentage, okay? And then you're going to still run some clock down. You're going to keep Vernon on the field so they can go tempo after. But this takes more time off the clock. They're at the 5-yard line. You should be able to score with 51 seconds, no matter, get points. But what you're trying to do is take the points away from Toronto.
Dave Dickinson with his 2 timeouts in the back pocket as well, sitting at 500 on the year, 4 and 4. Many people around the league feeling like the Stampeders are better than their record represents. as we begin week number 10 here tonight.
Milt will say, you're 4-4. That's your record.
It is what your record is.
Is what your record is.
First and goal from the 6. Vernon gets to the left, escapes, has all the room in the world in front of him, and Vernon Adams Jr. had a rushing touchdown against the Argonauts in week 5. He's got another here tonight at BMO.
The veteran quarterbacks in this league we're seeing use their legs less. Why? Because they understand where to throw the football, but sometimes everybody's covered. The Argonauts went all out in coverage. You can see everybody's covering, chasing people. There's nobody on this left-hand side of the field. Vernon recognized it right away. Breaks contained for the touchdown. Good drive, good response at the end of the half. You want to finish with 7. Don't give them an opportunity. Still a lot of time though. 37 seconds here for Toronto. Plenty of time for them to get.
I can tell you're going into an international flag football competition. You got the game management down right now.
We got our a little different in flag football, but for Mike Miller here, like as teams take the football now and get the football at the 40-yard line, it's so good opportunities when teams have great opportunities after a field goal. That's the one big thing. We got a touchdown right here, but like you go kick a field goal right before the half. If you've left any time, all you need is two easy passes, and then you're in long field goal range with kickers nowadays.
Just watching this touchdown replay back, it makes me remember how incredibly difficult it is to play against a quarterback with the athleticism and the playmaking of Vernon Adams Jr. because he's not even really drifting to his right. He's just kind of bopping, and then all of a sudden there's angles. And he takes advantage of them.
He's not as much of a runner that you're going to spy. Right. What a spy means is you take one of your guys out of the coverage, you take a linebacker, and you say you're just watching him the whole time. When he scrambles, go tackle him. That's not Vernon's game anymore. But when he needs it, it's going to show up, and that's one of the reasons he's protected the football, because he can use his legs and has great vision to see when everybody's covered. I'm going to take off.
So impressed every time we get a chance to talk to Vernon like we did this week. Just his maturity and the growth, where he's come from, where he is, being a leader of this Calgary Stampeders team, trying to make them a true Grey Cup threat as we head towards the second half of the season. The Argonauts somehow playing their first home game here and leaning on a couple of quick, explosive drives from this man, Chad Kelly.
Chad right now 15-19, almost 79% completion. He's got 170 yards, not bad for Chad. 1 TD, but the issue is 2 interceptions.
And the points off turnovers, 24-0 for the Calgary Stampeders against Hamilton just last week. So it's not a mystery. If Calgary gets short fields, they typically take advantage, and we know, set off the top, 87% of the time, the team that wins the turnover battle wins the football game. The Argonauts digging themselves a bit of a hole, but trying to make something out of nothing. Here is it's incomplete. Kelly was looking for Unger and LaBrosse on the coverage. Nice coverage at the back end, not giving Chad Kelly anywhere to go the ball, especially after he went ahead and scrambled on the outside. So you go ahead and roll it, guys. If Chad goes here, David Unger is on the underneath, then he breaks in on what's called the dig route. As it goes in and then just starts to scramble. The ball's just a little high. Good coverage by LaBrosse on the outside. Kelly 15 of 20 at this point as he loads this one up and then tries to fade it over coverage. Kyle Wilson was there, but Kevin Mittal waited patiently, laid hands on that one too. Great throw, once again, and out and then bent back over the Wilson, the linebacker. Great throw. Incredible catch by Kevin Mittal. That completion might give them a little bit of energy to try and take a shot here at the end of the half, and it will. They'll just throw it up for DeMonte Coxey battling with Anthony Johnson. It's incomplete. Right idea, execution not quite there. I don't love that call. Like you're right now, your kicker's sitting at a 52-yard field goal. Bring it out. So like you get 6, you get enough for one more play. Don't take the low percentage. Get 6 more yards on a pass play, so you can make your kicker. Doesn't have to take this 52-yarder right before. Wow. Good young new kicker.
I would have maybe not taken the shot, given him a little bit more yardage.
I just heard Craig Dickinson as well on the sidelines just say very distinctly, take it out to Tyreek McAllister.
Yes, don't give up any points.
Waiting back for an opportunity to potentially return this one, and he won't get a chance. Brady Lister crushed that one.
Lister's been a great addition for this football team.
We have reached halftime.
That's a big kick for a young player.
In the Argonauts home opener here on Thursday, August 6th, the latest that it's ever been in the CFL calendar, as Vernon Adams Jr. waits for his teammates as they head down the tunnel to the road locker room, place that this franchise, the red and white, has had so much success against the double blue. The Argos continuing to feel out their surroundings. Must feel a little bit bizarre, especially for the guys that are not long-term tenured Argonauts here in the building.
Yeah, and certainly Craig Dickinson giving a little advice there. Mike Miller's got to be, got to be concerned about the takeaways. But with that, with giving the football away that much, 19-17, great opportunity.
Let's head down to Matthew Shinetti, who's alongside Chad Kelly.
Well, it looked like Vernon Adams Jr., Chad, was going to put the Stamps in lead going in the locker room, but that drive right there, does it really kind of show the trust that you and Mike Miller have in each other in this offense, that no amount of time left, that you know you can move the football down the field?
Yeah, I mean, there's 30-plus seconds to go. It feels like 45-plus in the CFL, right? So we got a good kicker that has a good leg, so, we trust each other.
And in terms of trusting your arm, the Stamps are going to be attacking you. You saw that in Calgary earlier in the season, the 2 picks in the first half. But how much do you say, if you're going to come at me, I'll come right at you?
Yeah, we got to keep applying pressure. That's what it comes down to.
Appreciate this.
Thank you.
Well, Kate, Vernon Adams Jr. is pushing the ball downfield. So now is Chad Kelly. We might have a barn burner on Thursday.
The numbers here at halftime from the Argonauts home opener. See passing yards 197 for the Toronto Argonauts. Vernon Adams Jr. looking to fight his way back into this one, and he's field side along our Matthew Shinetti.
There was a lot of struggles, VA, trying to get those second and short. So how big was that play to Damian Alford to kind of settle the offense down a little bit and eventually help you guys get on the scoreboard just before halftime?
Yeah, it was good, man. He kept playing. I found him late, and he made a play for us, you know what I'm saying? We had a good last drive there as an offense, so we try to capitalize, get 7. Defense is playing amazing right now, getting turnovers and stuff. I got to help him out. I got to hold up my end of the bargain.
You had that touchdown going in. How important sometimes do you just say, hey, listen, I'm going to take the play on my shoulders and go and make it?
Yeah, there's nobody really there, and, I just scrambled. Like I said, I just got to play a little bit better for my defense and do what we can to get this win, man.
Thanks, VA.
Appreciate it. God bless. Go Stamps.
Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, VA, for the time coming out of the locker room there. And you can kind of feel the frustration on Vernon, can't you? It's like, listen, this one's going to be a bit of a grind. It might not have been the prettiest first half, but all that matters is that Calgary gets out of this trip to Ontario with a victory.
Yeah, when I looked at the stats, there are 2 things, and VA just said it. Calgary Stampeders are the best team in the CFL at converting in the red zone. 20 yards line in for touchdowns, 81%. They're 2 for 4 right now, 50%. They got to capitalize a bit more. For Toronto, 3 turnovers. They just got to clean up their turnovers, and this is a very different game on the Toronto Argonauts side.
Calgary kicks it away. Toronto will get first touch offensively of the football. Janarian Grant with the return touchdown in that first half as he tries to go on a kind of a middle return this time. Bounces off 2 tacklers, makes his way past the 40, and great starting field position for the Argos, Labo.
And Chad Kelly will talk about what he did in the first half. Heard me just talk about the takeaways. Some of these errant throws, just trying to throw to a spot, throwing the ball late on the outside. Just got to be careful of these shots. I know he's going to make great plays like this. He's got to make sure he just doesn't make plays that hurt them, like this one right here, trying to throw in between 2 people. I don't know if he's going to poke or he's trying to get coxy here. Just protect the ball a little bit better. Different game.
Calgary comes with pressure right away, and the Argonauts beat it with an inside handoff. Smith brought down by Forlorn Orimolade.
A couple other things, Marshall, I'd be thinking about as a head coach here is, Calgary's on a short week. So Calgary, this is a 7:30 kick, short week for Calgary on the road. They stayed out in Burlington. Can they play for 2 more quarters versus a team that's coming off a bye week that's fresh? That's what I'd be looking for to keep an eye on. And that might be why Toronto's going with so much tempo at times.
Kelly looks to throw quickly, and Pope successful on a similar play early in the first half, and they go back to it here less than a minute into the second.
And those tempo plays, what that does, they're going tempo right here. You can see them at the line of scrimmage. You're trying to go, hey, listen, I know these guys are on a short week. We're fresh. We're ready. Let's go ahead and play faster than them. Let's make them even more tired than a short week.
Quickly to the left-hand side, Monte Coxie thought of it one direction, then a second, chose the third, and is brought down eventually. Anthony Johnson just got enough of the shoelace to bring down the talented large receiver, 86.
Yeah, nice tackle by Johnson here, because this could have been a good play for Coxie. Once again, I talked about him reading it inside out. You can see his eyes flip to the outside. I don't like to throw on the inside. I know I got a big target on the outside. He's going to be running into me. I can throw it. Easy completion at the yardage. Put you in second and short.
Those super wide splits at the bottom of your screen. It's because they want to screen it out to Pope, but Johnson's going to beat it. He was unhappy about Coxie beating him one-on-one with a route on the last one lap. We got the best of him in blocking.
This is why sometimes I hate wide receiver screens. You're sitting here 2nd and 3. You've got a good run opportunity, but like you're asking your wide receiver right here to go ahead and make the block. Coxie misses this block, and you got a great opportunity to run the football, but Coxie gets beat.
Thank you.
You know, receiver screens are great if you block, Marshall. If you don't block anybody, they're terrible. Negative yardage play. That's why sometimes I don't love making those calls. I was in a game one time, Marshall, and we had 3 guys to block one. All 3 missed. Why'd I call that?
McAllister takes a knee. I mean, yeah, it's like so many things in life. Kind of like having a huge chocolate bar right before bed. It's great until it's not. That's what we learned about having Vernon Adams Jr. hitting the turf here. We'll see if he's great when we return to Pimo.
Well, it was a memorable first half. 299 completions without an interception until this one right here. Tavon Jones, Benji Franklin goes up and gets it. Stop the streak at 299. Couple of nice throws downfield here, Marshall. Okay, finds Damian Alford underneath. And then you saw he ran in for a touchdown. 111 yards, rush for a touchdown. Got to be better in the red zone, as he talked about. And they got to convert on 2nd down. They're struggling, only 50%.
An entertaining game, though, with BA going through some uncharacteristic struggles, and Chad Kelly up and down performance in that first half. This one knifed underneath. Eric Brooks makes the grab for a gain of 5. But BA told us this week he's learning, getting better. Defense is coming together. He feels like there's a lot of hope for the red and white going into the second half of the season. I can see why, but also, I mean, big game, Edmonton-Montreal coming up on Saturday, Lapo, and there's a Labor Day thing that is lingering right now in my mind. Every time I watch Calgary get better and Edmonton continue to battle.
Here is years ago, Marshall. I guess I was in Winnipeg in 2016. We started 1-4, and then we won 4 in a row. And I'll tell you what, in Toronto, we won to go 5-5, and I'll tell you, just the elation of the organization to get back to that spot.
Certainly feels for both the Alberta franchises playing at a higher level than they have in recent years, as once again underneath Brooks makes the grab. Vernon leaning on him with the checkdowns here to just kind of reestablish connection.
Yeah, they're dropping everybody. Like with the zone coverage Toronto likes to play, what is Calgary doing now? They're starting to spread people out, put the back out of the backfield. Eric Brooks is a diminutive receiver who's fast. Put him on a little option route inside the linebackers. Let him get north-south. Good execution by the Calgary Stampeders on the option route inside the linebackers.
Comes up, make it to 2 different Stampeders, and then go underneath, losing an edge. Heading into the flats was Jalen Philpott that time. You mentioned Eric Brooks getting an opportunity, Lapo. He got his chance because Reggie Beggleton went down with injury on this field. And they were short a receiver, and they basically had to say, hey, our returner's the only guy because of numbers. We got to use Eric Brooks. And it turned into an opportunity that he has used to his advantage and run with as he rejoins the huddle here.
And all those guys, you know, you just want to go. There is a role for the smaller guys in your system. Is it speed sweeps? It's different spots like they're doing here. Put him in inside position. And it's kind of interesting. Putting him in this slot position gets him closer to the mismatches on the linebackers.
Showing great quickness in the open field, both in the return game and as a receiver. His flags come out here for Tom Pelessi, our referee, and hiding all along down the sideline is Tevin Jones, and he'll walk into the end zone. Touchdown, Calgary.
A little bit of an extra rep rep here, like this is a little rep because
Calgary
this is
number
coming
54.
back. This is a big time
10-yard
holding call.
penalty, remains second down.
Might be the least Dave Dickinson has ever argued a call. Just a simple nod of the head, and yeah, it's fine. I saw that one coming.
Thank you, Coley. Right here, you're going to see him on the hold here. Got the Lemonator trying to get through here, and you can see him just pull him down at that spot, triggering the penalty. That's an easy one to see for the Stampeders.
Coley going for a bit of a ride there from the vet.
Sean Lemon still producing. 14th year.
Mike Miller watches on. Shades of that Week 5 game with how easy it looked after the penalty. Calgary to score, but it's wiped off the board. So Ferdinand June goes back to work. He'll throw vertically right down the middle of the field, and it's Brooks. It hung up in the air just a little bit in behind 87.
And that's what you don't like as some of the diminutive guys. You'd like a bigger body you can spot on some of these deep balls. He's going to show up in the top of your screen on an inside move on a post. The middle of the field's wide open, but the halfback is going to close and be in a position. I love some of the big, tall guys who could go up and high point that ball, but good play by Caesar. Closing the distance, putting his hands up, knocking the ball down.
Audrey cooks it away. It's Bassett, who got rocked on the Janarian Grant touchdown return earlier, is still in the game. Big pop of the pads that time on contact. It's a 36-yard punt. They angled it away from Janarian Grant. Gotta think that's a wise decision. Dave Unger with
Very
the return.
good decision.
A beautiful eve if the Toronto Argonauts had taken care of the football early on. Very first offensive snap of the game, Sam Hicks let the ball popped out. He's gotten a couple of more touches since, but maybe that changed the game plan a little bit. Let's rip it. Oh, Ben LaBrosse. All of a sudden, he takes it away.
Speed on the corner hurts you. And then this errant throw, trying to get it here. I don't know if he thinks Coates is going to go higher and inside, but really good play by Webb there. Different game if there's no turnovers, as we say. -2 in the turnover margin right now. Calgary Stampeders one of the best in the CFL protecting the ball.
Turnover on 3 of their first drives of the ball game for the Argonauts as they do go with a little pitch to Hicks. Cuts it back. That interception, the second one that ended up dropping into Johnson. It's one of those throws in the CFL. It's like if you throw it to a spot and it works, oh, is it pretty? If it doesn't, man, does it ever look bad.
Yeah, it's not a. It's just a difficult thing when you have. You always say, I can make that throw. Well, let's wait till it's wide open instead of like trying to make the best throw in the history of football throws. I don't love the term, he's a gunslinger. I'm like, okay.
Kelly can rip it as he tries to. Now back shouldering as he could feel the coverage and stepping out of bounds. Is it completion and out of bounds or incomplete? Was the heel out when he caught it? No, it looks like they're spotting the football. So DeMonte Coxey will move the sticks here on second down.
Part of the job of a quarterback is reading coverage and hold it up, guys. This is going to be a vertical, okay, and this is going to be an outcut. When that player is high, this player is responsible to drop down and hit that. But what happens? Watch the corner. He's going to stop his feet to try to make the play. Chad Kelly recognizes it and throws it in the hole immediately. Great recognition on throwing it in the hole as the corner bites down on the inside breaking route.
This looks like something you can run Dusseldorf.
Oh, already have it in, buddy.
I know you did. This one right down the middle of the field, incomplete. Kelly ends up on his back. But in all seriousness, that's one of those concepts of whatever you want to call it that everybody from youth football to flag football to high school football to U Sports runs.
You've got to be able to process that information quickly and get the ball out.
I'm going to Rimolade.
And this is a little bit about Chad Kelly. I mean, Chad Kelly throws the ball. Their offense throws the ball deeper than any team. Average about like 10 yards per offensive play, not just runs and passes, but it's because he's going to take some of these hits. He's going to sit in the pocket and hold. Back in my days, years ago, Kahari Jones stayed in the pocket, but he took more hits.
Pressure coming from the boundary here. Kelly gets it away. I think his arm might have got hit as he released it, but he threw a strike. Calgary says they have the football at the end of the play. Dave Dickinson fired up. And the Toronto offense wants to go quickly to the line of scrimmage. All sorts of confusion here at BMO. They're spotting the football for Toronto.
They're trying to go fast so they can't allow
Man, that was I think Anthony Johnson even took a seat trying to get like an injury timeout. They were doing anything they could to get a stoppage so the snap couldn't get off. And did they have a valid case? I mean, Calgary's bench had a great look at this. Devontae Coxie on the last play that confused everyone as the ball was separated. That was loose.
Out. The ball, to me, looked like it was separated and out.
Stamps were on it. Coaching staff on it. But couldn't get confirmation quick enough, I guess, to throw the challenge flag for Dave Dickinson. Toronto, rightfully so, went quick, but in the chaos of all that, Mackay Polk also came up slowly. And
great situational football, preventing the opportunity to see all the angles by going tempo.
Nick Arbuckle in the game here on 3rd and 1. Arbuckle battles his way through the right side of the line. But Mackay Polk on the sideline. Could have been another takeaway for this Calgary Stampeders defense that continues to play at an increasing level.
So we'll show what happened here. So somebody on Toronto's recognizing that this is a turnover, whether it be on the sideline or they're just protecting this. As soon as they call a coded word, they say one word that tells everybody on the field what they're doing. They get up as fast as they can. It allows Calgary not to see enough angles. Once the play's run, you can't put the challenge again. So great execution by Toronto on the quick play.
They get going across the face of Chad Kelly. He tries to find the backside crossing route. And haven't said that name as a flag comes out away from the catch. Another Common makes the grab. Started the year quickly. Bunch of touchdowns. Has slowed since.
Been a great player for them. 6'3", big kid from Emporia State. You don't hear that name often. He's been really 374 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Blocking downfield before the ball was caught. Toronto number 83. 10-yard penalty. Remains first down.
He goes against Dave Ungerer, so Mike Miller back deep into the play sheet.
So David Ungerer here is going to be at the bottom of the screen. We'll watch what's happening here. This is a bootleg where they're protected and what? Okay. I don't know if I like that call. I think he's running a route and he kind of pushes off a little bit. I don't know if I would be calling that blocking downfield.
Lost his edge.
Right? Especially when it happened 10 yards downfield. He's trying to run a route.
Blitz coming from the secondary here. Kelly sees it, gets protection, and then throws into the feet. Incomplete towards Devontae Coxie.
Good zone pressure, forcing Kelly. This is what you try to do defensively. You try to make sure the quarterback pulls the ball down so the rush can get there. You'll see a blitzer coming off this edge on the outside. And then Wilson, you can see Wilson expanding. He takes away the throwing lane where Chad was just about to throw, forces him to go to his next read, forcing incompletion.
George Idoko playing a defensive line off the end that time. Patient, just another depth player that Calgary gets to use to their advantage. Is this one thrown in behind and intercepted, intended for Kevin Mintal, and it will be a walk into the end zone for Adrian Green, who continues to victimize the Toronto Argonauts back-to-back years.
Adrian Green, who last year had multiple pick sixes, gets another one. We talk about years ago there was a term, Marshall, the Canadian Air Force. Well, this is the Canadian Defense Shield right here. Ben LeBras, Adrian Green undercuts the outbreaking route. Chad Kelly threw it to this. It's got to be thrown all the way to the sideline. If it's not located at all, Adrian Green gets the jump, picks it off for the pick six. The wide side of the field out is one of the most difficult throws to make. If you better be clean when you throw that ball, or else it could be a touchdown on another going the other way for the opponent.
14-0 points off turnovers now for the Calgary Stampeders, as Toronto kid at St. Mary's All West last year was 6.
The wide side of the field out route. You pause it here for a second. This is what we have here. A player out in the flat. Now, I'm going to draw one more thing. That's the low player. That's the deep player. A low zone player on an out breaking route Oh, not a good situation to throw this ball. You go ahead and run it now here. So he's the low player. Adrian Green, you can see him. He sees the ball in the air, and he undercuts it before Chad Kelly can get the ball outside, and there's nobody home after that. I used to term, and I'm going to write on this too late, but I used to tell the quarterbacks, out routes versus low halfback, blank, blank.
Yep.
Don't throw them.
Bad spot to be put into.
Blank, blank is a swear, Marshall. You didn't know that, right?
Did you write that on the whiteboard? Just
I was going to write it on, but I didn't have enough time. I was going to put it on the screen with the tally, but yeah, don't throw those wide side outs versus a low defender. Low defender can be right there and pick it off. Adrian Green gets another pick. It was really good. You know, obviously great instincts. I think of that signing a couple of years, 2 years ago for the from BC Lions, comes over to Calgary. What a great get for the Calgary Stampeders.
Yeah, Adrian Green in week 2 here against the Toronto Argonauts last season, right? Had 2 interceptions. One he took back to the house. So back-to-back years, a pick 6 here against the Argonauts. One came way back in June of 25, now here in August of 26. As the running game tries to get going to support Chad Kelly, mixing and matching things, gain of 4 on first down.
And, you know, you talk about coaching the Toronto Argonauts, and Mike Miller does an excellent job at this coaching staff. They've got a very good football team here. They pretty much got one thing they need to coach. They need to coach your starting quarterback to make better decisions on certain pictures. Because this guy is very good quarterback. He's outstanding. But he's just got to make sure I learned this from Ken Miller years ago, and I'll tell you, it's the team's ball, not his football. And you got to make sure you protect the football. Don't throw every throw out there.
They protect him again and go back to the well. Demonte Coxie working well into that boundary side, makes 2 Stampeders miss. It was Johnson and Moten flowing over. I think Kyle Wilson eventually was the one that'll get credit for helping bring him down. David Webb there as well.
Coxie, it's so comfortable to take this throw on the outside, because there's your one-on-one. They've done this 4 times already this game. He's going to get a big waggle, come back down, the stem, nice easy throw.
Out to the wide side in front of Ben LeBron. It's Dave Unger making the grab.
Same picture, different side of the field now. Now what do? They take the one-on-one to the wide side of the field. They're just attacking the corners right now with Unger and Coxie.
Mike Miller working his way through his first game as a head coach in the Canadian Football League, being at home here at BMO Field.
That's a crazy stat.
He said he wouldn't change anything, which I thought was amazing, because I was like, when you imagine being a head coach, you probably don't want to do
the only thing that changed.
Or he said that he appreciates the fact it's made him tougher for any situation he faces going forward as a head coach. As Kelly throws into the middle of the zone, and it's Common making the grab in front of Adrian Green.
You can sometimes tell where the ball is going to go by the alignment of the back. Watch the backs. He's going to leak out. If one's going out, somebody's coming in. And what do? You just watch what the linebacker does. So as the linebacker expands, you throw in that window before Wilson can get there. Common's there, gets north-south. Good recognition of the movement of linebacker. The backs are going to tell you. The motion's going to tell you where this ball should go or where the read starts.
2 minutes remaining in this third quarter. 24-20 your score with the blitz coming, and Kelly trying to get away from it. He does. He evades. Clarence Hicks throws it back across the field, and it's an easy interception. Ben LaBrosse has got another. What were you saying about it's everybody's football?
I don't know. It might be his.
And LaBrosse coming to life here in 2026, intended for Demonte Coxie, but
5th turnover of the game for the Argonauts. A little frustrating. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys standing at the line of scrimmage. What does that mean? Nobody in the middle of the field. But there's just a lot of deep routes on this concept if you roll it here, guys. So he doesn't have that immediate throw versus 1+ to get out of the ball out of his hands. But he does scramble, make the guy miss. Again, this is not as bad as some of the other interceptions, but he underthrows this. He takes a one-on-one throw, throws it to the end zone for the one-on-one. He does have a matchup, but it's underthrown. There's the pick. And that's the thing. Ben LaBrosse makes a beautiful interception. So back-to-back series with a turnover. Chad Kelly can see the frustration right there.
contemplating his evening. First time having 4 interceptions for Chad Kelly since...
Not sure. Tell me, Mark.
June 20th. Remember that crazy game against the Ottawa Red Blacks earlier this year?
Yes.
But in that game, he had 4 touchdown passes as well. So the second time this season is, again, he came in with 9 INTs on the year. Now sitting at 13.
And again, most of these interceptions, all but one, I believe, are passes greater than 10 yards, 15 yards. They're explosive shots. You got to find somewhere else to go with the football. You know, and that last one was actually the one I didn't mind the most because it was a one-on-one in the back of the end zone. Right? You tell your quarterbacks, take the one-on-one throws when you get a one-on-one matchup.
Especially DeMonte Coxie, right? If you're coaching him up, you're saying that's your guy. Take the jump ball, take the opportunity. He did, but off the mark, and LeBron's got the interception. So now Calgary trying to get away from traffic, and Vernon Adams Jr. cannot escape a lemon shot.
The Lemonator coming around with a speed rush. Okay, watch him. He's in his three-point stance. He's going to come with speed on the outside, rip underneath. And again, as the guards get beat, that makes Vernon stop and move his feet. When that happens, Lemonator shows up, creates the sack. What a great pickup for this football team. After Chatfield went down, Ojo went down, they needed help. Let's go get Lemonator, 14 years in.
Bunker getting another opportunity to return here, a 51-yard punt. And Mark Bassett turns him back inside to prevent the inevitable double touchdown night that would have been, as Janarian Grant's already got one, and Unger playing his part on special teams contributions.
Yeah, and this is what you want to get. Hey, they're not going to kick to Janarian Grant. Unger has got to do his part too. Cutting across the field on these wide side returns. Nice job using his vision. Bounces outside. Lateral quickness is what you need to have. Unger has got a ton of it. That's what makes your return team great, when not only the front side return is getting it, the off returner making plays.
6th year out of Idaho, former 11th overall pick of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, a guy who loves the Labor Day matchup as well. As the flag is out on this snap. I also love that when we talked to Sean Lemon this week, he said that it's amazing that 2026 is so prolific. The quarterbacks are unstoppable, he said.
Wait till I get there. Right?
Maybe it's because I wasn't in the league for a little while.
Offside. Toronto number 86. That penalty is declined. It's the end of the third quarter.
Insult to injury there. DeMonte Coxie, the intended receiver on the interception that happened just a few plays ago, and then gets a flag at the end of the third quarter as we head to the 4th and final stanza, with this Stampeders defense continuing to frustrate Chad Kelly in the Argonauts August home opener. Should be a great final quarter. Stick around, more from BMO when we return. At this point, there's a 5 and a 1 down at the bottom there, Paul Applees. They seem to be problematic.
The Argonauts are -4 in turnover margin. The Calgary Stampeders are +4 in turnover margin, and they're barely winning this football game. So Dave Dickens will be like, what is happening here? Well, the Toronto Argonauts defense is playing a heck of a game today. They're doing a good job. They're pressuring Vernon all game. They're not giving up a lot of big plays. So they're still in this game, even though there's so many takeaways so many giveaways by the Toronto offense. So we got one more quarter. Be interesting to see what happens and how they reel in these bad decisions by Chad Kelly.
Feels like a chaotic week and a chaotic start to the season. It's kind of led to a chaotic performance here in their home openers. That snap was low, almost into the knees of Kelly, and he's just going to take the snap and rip as far as he can down the field. Common with the coverage supplied by Adrian Reed, but they'll say contact early.
Good decision. Let's get the one-on-one here.
Pass interference. Calgary number 0. Spot of the foul. Automatic. First down.
And it's not about taking deep shots. Chad Kelly likes deep balls. Well, this is a one-on-one. Nobody else. It's a seam right down the field. He's got a matchup he likes. A big receiver on Adrian Green. Go take the throw. It's a little bit short, draws the penalty. So it's not about throwing it deep. It's just making great decisions deep. That's a great one-on-one matchup. Take the one-on-one every time.
We're in the fourth quarter. Toronto in the score zone here as they are trailing by 4. And Alarna Remalade alongside Derek Moncrief, two of the veteran leaders of this defense that's been infused by young talent. Jalen Hutchings, Clarence Hicks.
When you run the football, you have to have answers for the strong side linebacker. Derek Moncrief just jumped in, ran right in, made the play. Nobody accounted for him. The offensive lineman won't account for him in some of these inside zone plays. It's got to be a receiver, or you got to throw the football.
I think they put it in the hands of Chad Kelly here. No, based on the night that he's had, try and make good on the 4 interceptions as he looks to throw. And he rips this one into the middle of the end zone and just off the outstretched hands of Mackay Polk in between Moten and Jaden Grant.
Amazing throw into a spot. This is 2 deep man under. What does that mean? There's a defender deep and there's a player underneath in man coverage, and you can see this. There's the underneath, there's the over the top. That's why it's a dangerous throw, but he gave him a chance to Mackay Polk almost to make that play for a touchdown. Hell of a location versus 2 deep man under coverage.
Certainly felt as it came out of his hand like one of those where Kelly was trying to get back all the mistakes on that one big throw that makes you go, oh man, yeah, he can rip it like that.
And rip it,
right? Field goal comes. Brady Lister 19 yards away. We got a 1-point.
Now we got a 1-point game at -4 in turnover, man. Amazing.
That might break the narrative that we've had in the CFL, not just this season, but many seasons where turnovers basically determine the winners. Calgary.
Welcome back to BMO Field, where the Toronto Argonauts have pulled this game within 1, 24-23 against the Calgary Stampeders. Sean Lemon's already made an impact in this game, especially in the second half, as the Argos have kind of struggled on offense. Lemon has made an impact with that sack, but here's the thing. In this league, units of separation between players isn't odd, but we did find out something new in terms of the distance between Sean Lemon and Markel Lee. 14 years ago, it was substitute gym teacher Sean Lemon, who was teaching Markel Lee at Westlake High School, which was also Sean Lemon's high school in Maryland. And the one thing that Sean Lemon has been saying is he takes a lot of credit for bringing Markel Lee, convincing Markel Lee to come to the CFL, and also convincing the Stamps to look at Markel Lee. And maybe one of the reasons why Sean Lemon is so eager to take credit for that, well, he wrote Markel Lee a lot of hall passes in high school, guys.
Giving him some free time that maybe he was earning with his play. It was amazing talking to Sean Lemon about that. Thank you, Matthew. He was saying that the teacher was out for maternity leave. He did his senior year. He knows his dad, his family. He told Brendan Mahoney and Brett Monson about him. He said he was a high IQ player, and I immediately recognized it. I was like, oh, this guy's going to be great in the CFL.
Going to get into scouting maybe.
14 years later, here he is playing against Sean Lemon.
He's so old. I was the head coach of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers when he was first signed. We signed him in 2010. Yeah, he was with us for 3 weeks, then he went back to the NFL.
Lemon said that Markel Lee reminds him a lot of Juwan Simpson, which will ring a bell for many Stampeders fans. As this one knocked down at the line of scrimmage, Wayne Hendricks all over it.
Quick, short passes. You can't get home as a D lineman when the ball's coming out so quickly. You can recognize that as a D lineman. Just get your hands up, and the tackles will tell you how this is happening. They attack you and start getting hands up right now. You're not going to get home. Just go ahead, especially when you're double teamed. Hendricks, it's okay if I'm not going to get to the quarterback. I just got to knock the ball down.
Vernon Adams Jr., the last time he played against this Toronto Argonauts defense just 5 weeks ago. 7 touchdowns, 6 through the air, 1 with the legs. Today, 0 touchdowns through the air. Has the 1 rushing, but the first interception of the year as well. 11 of 18, 144 yards.
There's a lot of good things tonight from Toronto. You know, coming back from a bye week, you get to refresh. Look at what you're doing defensively. So for Greg Quick,
Timer, please reset the clock to 11:55. Thank you.
Passing yards, 9th in the CFL given up. 30-plus completions, 8th in the CFL. Points allowed, 7th in the CFL. So this is a really good game plan for Greg Quick and his defense. And I guess Dave Dickinson's not happy of contact after 5 yards, Marshall. You're not allowed to hit anybody after 5 yards.
He's certainly got his eyes on on his receivers trying to get him loose as Chad Kelly has doubled Vernon Adams Jr.'s passing yardage in this ball game here tonight. 288 to 144 as it stands right now with PA ready to take the snap on 2nd and 10. Handed off inside. There's that draw you were calling, Lapo, earlier, and another explosive down the right sideline. Dedrick Mills will get bumped out of bounds inside the 30.
Didn't I say just keep calling draw plays? How about that? That's awesome. Everybody expanding. This is what you call quarters coverage. What does that mean? You have 4 deep. And when you have 4 people deep, you have to walk all the linebackers out. So there's only 1 linebacker in the box. Go ahead and roll it here, guys. And then all of a sudden you're going to see attack the middle linebacker, let the rush go upfield, and there's too much space for good tailbacks to make people miss. Great call by the Stampeders. Flip them right into field goal range.
Area of the second half, and Darius Pickett makes the tackle. I haven't said his name much at all here this evening. Always a bad sign, too, when your free safety, Bubba Bolden, is the first one that makes contact, and it's a broken arm tackle.
Paris Shan made a nice tackle there on the last one. Love it. LSU, it's a draft pick a couple years ago, does a good job getting involved in there. Darius Pickett's in close around the ball. Got a bunch of tackles for a loss this season. Pickett's really, those strong side linebackers so important to your defense. And Pickett's one of the best in the league.
Calgary Stampeders with 2nd and 6. Over the last 6 games, they've averaged 42.8 points per game, 40.3 on the year. Sit here with 24 in the 4th quarter as Vernon looks to the outside, and it hung up, and it was nearly picked off. Benji Franklin and made incidental contact with the official in frustration, but Vernon got away with one right there.
Very close to being a pick 6. If that was any closer, if you could see it, it's going to be a pick 6. Now, we've seen Coxie catch a bunch of these on the sideline, but it's a different coverage. He's a lot lower on the field here. You can see Tevin Jones here. See how low he is? At this point, he's not going to back up anymore. The throws to the sideline, he undercuts it. You got to make sure if you're going to take that throw on the outside, he's got to be what's called a free access, farther off the receiver, or else he's going to make a play because the ball's in the air too long.
The triple is good. It could have been an interception for Benji Franklin, as he has sealed games before with game-changing pick 6s. He was right there on the spot.
Awesome, good shot.
I love that. The coach, 3 Hall of Famers obviously on the coaching staff. You see Baron Miles, John Bowman, and head coach Dave Dickinson as they made their way there. You gotta imagine that security standing in the background of the shotgun. Wait, those guys look familiar.
Look like that guy. Well, I don't know. Some of those headshots don't look like the guys.
It's not easy to get a perfect replica,
right.
But yeah, all the Hall of
And they've changed. They look. Some guys look a little bit bigger, right? Like us all. Always look a little bit bigger. But John Bowman, great career. Good to have him on the staff, and obviously Dave Dickinson, Baron Miles, great players.
Chad Kelly looks to throw here with the pressure on. Underneath on 1st and 10. Just across the 55. Gain of 5 yards on the play. In my mind, though, you have 3 Hall of Famers on your sidelines. We see Baron Miles, which I loved watching him pull out his iPhone at the Combine this year and videotape for his own well-being. His son doing the bench press at the Combine. Such a great father-son moment. But I really do love the fact that on this sideline, you see how intense these guys are. And they're locked in. They're working together. It's because they know what it takes. Like, that's what you got to have with a coaching staff. These guys who understand and communicate, right? Love being able to see that. That's why the standard in Calgary is so high.
And the hardest thing, you know, trying to hire these guys. So, like, former players finish playing as a head coach, and I've had to do it, hire former players. The hardest thing you have to teach these guys, because you want players, because they all the experience you just talked about. They can relate, hey, this is how I used to do it. But you're just trying to teach them the hours involved as a coach and the work that's put in. It's not a 4.5-hour job. You're there all day, and that's the thing you're fighting, trying to see guys who can handle all the hours.
1st and 10. Toronto trying to dance their way out of turnover trouble, and Kelly launches this one to the sky, hangs in the air, and knocked away. Anthony Johnson and DeMonte Coxie. Well, back and forth all night.
And again, this is the secret sauce for Chad Kelly. Besides a great strong arm. Now, I think he drops the ball. I don't think this ball's touched. It just kind of falls out of his hand. but he picks it up himself. He uses his legs, and then he creates a one-on-one opportunity. So the ball's here. He goes, he drops it as there's a little push, picks it up, uses his legs to find a one-on-one, throws the one-on-one downfield. But that's the thing that has made this offense so difficult. He's got a great arm. At times, his legs allows him to make these one-on-one throws on the outside.
RJ Moat with a little flyby avoiding contact with Kelly. As now they try to set up a screen, and it's tracked down, diagnosed, and destroyed by Kyle Wilson.
Yeah, and it's funny, every time I watch after, anytime it's a throw that's a short, quick throw, I watch Chad Kelly to go, I could have thrown this deep, right? You know, it's a good call here, a screen pass, trying to get yourself into a better position. Maybe any yardage you can get yourself a field goal, but I'll tell you what, Wilson does a great job. Kyle Wilson recognizing the screen, going to make the tackle.
Wilson could have got 3 tackles on that one play. I think might have brought him down several times after a 46-yard punt. And the Kyle Wilson onslaught continues over the last couple of weeks. Everywhere on the field, never far from the football. Able to recognize one of our own anytime we have the chance. And Dave Moyer, I love calling games with him. There you see Glenn Suter and Ross Smith with him working a game in Edmonton. He has been all over the Canadian Football League for quite some time, and tremendous to see him get acknowledged by the media wing of the Canadian Football Hall of Fame.
Congrats, Dave. Well deserved.
People don't talk enough about him. The ultra-athletic Calgary Colts junior football player. Need to bring that story to life, maybe more to air. But yeah, the people that hand us the information up here in the booth, our entire CFL and TSN crew that put these broadcasts together, they are the superstars that make this a reality. And Dave has certainly been one of those long-staying and knowledgeable sources of information across the Canadian Football League. So can't wait to celebrate that coming up.
Yeah, Dave, congrats. Well deserved. Been very good to me early as a young coach. I remember introducing himself and working in television. Yeah, all of our stats people do such a great job. As we're watching the game, they're giving us information of different yardage and who caught things, and it's been outstanding.
Dave's worked on 37 Grey Cup broadcasts.
37.
Just incredible. Vernon Adams Jr. goes to work from his own goal line, and he gets blasted. Coming in clean. Argonauts got a free rush off the edge. It was a Jonathan Kongbo.
All the way on the outside, take a look. Kongbo goes, beats, comes in, splits. Demery, power rush, right in. Backs Calgary up.
Stamps will attempt to salvage some field position here. Janarian Grant already in Calgary territory when he catches it. Rolls down inside the 40 and trailing by 4 with 5.5 remaining. It's a great spot for the Argonauts. Fifth year in the Canadian Football League for Jonathan Kongbo, the former 5th overall pick of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers here in Toronto. And they've got such a deep group, you don't get to say his name a whole lot.
Well, and you know, Toronto said, hey, come play for us. We're going to play a Canadian out of the defensive end spot.
Confusion here getting
my Ojo, you know, so they have Canadians at that spot, give him an opportunity.
Lots of confusion getting lined up, but no confusion after the snap is Sam Hicks. Second touchdown of the ball game. Toronto couldn't figure out how to get themselves aligned, and it didn't matter. Just handed to 25. A one-play touchdown drive.
So many times you've got to stay home, and you end up a lot of confusion going on here. This is going to be an inside zone play. I think they don't have enough guys on the field here as I look at this. But certainly bounce up, make one person miss as you wind back the tight zone play for the touchdown. play, there was a bunch of commotion on the sideline. People are running out late for this first play. So let's take a look at the all too far. Let me count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So not enough guys on the field. So not sure how that happened or whatever. You have all these different rotations. They were in one of the other rotations. Not having guys on the same page. Dave Dickinson talked about three-phase football. How about three-phase football for the Argonauts? They punt the ball, put it inside the 10-yard line. They get a sack and back Calgary Stampeders up, so they punt out of their end zone. After they punt it out of their end zone, the ball starts at the 40-yard line, short field, one play, touchdown. So that's three-phase football for the Toronto Argonauts.
Also think about the fact that Abilene Christian, first year in the Canadian Football League, and Sam Hicks being on the headset, getting some love from upstairs. He's one of those guys that kind of had to figure out, you know, what is this place that apparently is our home field? And he's got 2 touchdowns tonight, so a memorable one for 25.
They've done a nice job this season for them. Averaging almost 6 yards a carry. That increases yardage numbers. Just a great run.
Oh, what a block to spring Tyreek McAllister. Out of nowhere, Elijah Hills just detonated on an Argonaut special teamer, and McAllister flipping the field.
Elijah Hills is one of the guys who's supposed to clean up the hole for the returner. So if you watch Mills here, you're going to see him 94 right there and deliver that shot. You can see him celebrating after. Great play. Not many of those left in the CFL. Drops Neal. That's called a cockroach because all his legs are up in the air.
Completed for a first down. You know how many texts I got after we did Hamilton Calgary last week telling me, man, that rat kill thing I was talking about is great. My phone's going to blow up talking about cockroaches.
Shark, whale, cockroaches, rats. A lot of terms we talk about. We're in the meeting room for like 12 hours a day, buddy. Like, so we have to have things. We have to have fun with our players. Yeah, you get a roach block when the guy's on the ground and his feet and legs are up in the air.
What happened to pancakes, you know?
Pancake is another one, yeah. Give him maple syrup because that's a pancake.
Vernon Adams Jr. First down on first down. Sees the Argonauts wander down close to the line of scrimmage. They'll try to run right into it, and Dietrich Mills bounces off 2 tacklers, but not a third. Darius Pickett get credit for the tackle.
Stopping the run all night. Dietrich Mills has had, besides a draw play, so the draw plays have been great for Dietrich Mills. But besides that, if he's running what their staple of gap schemes, you call it, or down block schemes, or inside zone schemes, not a lot of yardage tonight. The only yardage they've gotten really from the tailback position, draw plays.
Crowd into it here at BMO. 3-man rush. And Vernon on 2nd and 8 dances away from one, trying to keep the play alive, and just feeds it out of bounds, incomplete.
And here's the thing you always do as a coach here. So good throwaway, make sure they get a field goal to tie this game up. But Vernon Adams seeing the same coverage they've seen where the linebackers are dropping out. And we all do it as coaches.
This is the
call a draw again.
Warning.
But you don't want to call a draw play because you've already called 2 of them. Why don't we just keep calling draws?
16,000 in attendance here for the Argonauts home opener. We've hit the 3-minute warning. We got a 1-score game. Should be a great finish from the Lakeshore. Elusive. First victory at this point in the season. Montreal Alouettes battling against them last week. Montreal playing at home. What should be a rowdy environment Saturday afternoon against the upstart Elks out of Edmonton, as this field goal is up, through, and good. We got a tie ball game with 2:55 remaining. So Friday Night Football coming up, but it can wait for the next 2:55.
Tie this game up with just under 3 minutes. Huge play here. Decent crowd tonight, Marshall, over 16,000, you said? Did we talk about the upper deck? Have we mentioned the upper deck? I love the upper deck. So the upper deck, all you can eat for $40.
Really?
All you can eat. Yeah, so you get your ticket, then you just stuff your face. They don't have a lot of people on the upper deck. Now we got a ton of people in the upper deck. Why aren't these people eating? It's free. The food's free. Get off your phones.
But you get all that food, and then you get to sit here and watch a battle between two teams trying to climb above 500.
There's the upper deck. All those guys, $40, all you can eat.
60 combined points, tie ball game.
If it was all you could drink, we'd sell this place out every time, right?
I just like sitting in the upper deck because the view is great.
Yes, as
right?
coaches, we like the upper deck. Our former quarterbacks, as we see Chad Kelly, Mike Miller having a conversation. You think there's anything about, hey, let's just make good decisions with the football? Maybe that's one of the conversations.
Yeah, I mean, a turnover at this point in the game, especially a 5th interception for Chad Kelly, would feel like a dagger. We know it's the CFL, and it wouldn't be because, you know, life springs eternal no matter what, as long as there's a single second on the clock. But
and on the other side, Dave Dickinson's like, aren't we up by 4? We're +4 turnover? How are we losing?
Feels like Calgary should be in control of this one. Anton Hay making the big special teams tackle on Janarian Grant. And out comes Chad Kelly, trying to play the hero. Maybe we'll rescue the 4-interception evening as we see all the turnovers that have put our game in this situation. Again, when you're watching this, I want you to know we're currently tied.
Throw on the sideline here, trying to throw it. Coates goes underneath, thinks he's going to go over the top. I think that's what happened on that one. This is a wide side throw with a low halfback underneath that throw. Daly's return for a touchdown. Ben LeBras on the one-on-one.
Well, this isn't going to help as the very first play offensively, straight into the backfield, Charles Wiley brings down Chad Kelly. They quick snapped it and went backwards.
So Wiley from his outside position. So Chad's trying to read that defensive end. Defensive end gets upfield. He's got to be able to make sure he can hand this ball off, but it's very good by Wiley. He came down the line of scrimmage and recovered after. So athletically good play on the perimeter to recover on the naked bootleg.
Loss of 7 yards. So now from inside his own 20, trying to salvage as much as he can and cross body off the mark. And immediately, yeah, the Calgary defense answers the moment required in a tie ball game inside the 3-minute warning.
And you can see they went out with some nice, easy zone read to get some positive yardage, right? You just don't want a negative yardage play on that first one. But good stops by Calgary. This should be good field position, close to field goal range.
Mike Miller trying to get a victory again here in his first night as head coach in the home building at BMO Field. Warm reception for the Argonauts, but it would feel a heck of a lot better moving forward if they could get the victory. Right now, Vernon Adams Jr. is going to get the football after a 60-yard punt. Tyreek McAllister does his best. Sebastian Parcelidis out of Wilfrid Laurier makes the special teams play.
It would be, you know, that was an amazing punt by James Burnham. Filling in right now because of injuries, right? Traded from Ottawa. The Red Blacks traded him over here. Alabama, first-year player, a global player. I think he's an Australian. And watching that guy punt before the game, I can tell that this guy's got a live leg, and that was a huge kick. I mean, last week their nets were 45 yards on punts, so he's done a good job of punting for this football team as Haggerty's injured.
Major advantage for the Calgary Stampeders in starting field position throughout this ball game, and they have great spot to start from here, as well as BA throws into a tight window. Bubba Bolden right there, all over it.
Bubba Bolden from his safety spot recognizes the throw on this, downfield post, and he drives it, makes a play, undercuts Brissett for the ball. He just can't get his hands on it. Great instincts to see the ball being thrown and just get underneath. He just didn't get an opportunity to catch it.
But obviously the former Argonaut touchdown against the Hamilton Tiger Cats last week down the road at Hamilton Stadium. Targeted on that one, but incomplete, puts Calgary in a difficult position. And out comes BA, the playmaker. Saw so much of this in week 5, dancing around and gets chopped down, and it'll be close on the spot. Looks like they'll say shy for now, 3rd and short.
This is a long one. A couple weeks ago, you saw the Calgary Stampeders on one of these get stopped on a 3rd and 2. I don't know if this is close enough for them to go ahead and take a shot here. We shall see what Dave Dickinson decides.
Destroyed that pocket.
Go for it.
In short order, it got completely compacted as Dave Dickinson, a little bit of hesitation, but decides to send in the heavy team.
Toronto Argonauts, the heavy defensive linemen come in. Everybody flips, Marshall.
So here you go, 3rd and a full 1. As VA in the gun will turn around, hand it off, and Dedrick Mills met right at the point of attack. And did Toronto get a stop? It was Bolden that made the contact. And Pinball loves it, watching on.
The hard part is when you put extra D linemen in, there's nobody for the second level players. And you see Bubba Bolden right there. The ball comes out. It's a turnover either way because they don't get the yardage. But you see Bubba Bolden shows up in the screen free because all the D linemen, the extra D linemen, knock the offensive lineman down. You have nobody to work up to the second level.
He is a striker. I did not realize the football had popped loose. Dedrick Mills looks like he rolled back on top of it, but when it went backwards, like you say, regardless.
And you got a he's a 6'3", 200-pound safety.
Right.
So normally they're not that big. He's fine in the box, even playing middle linebacker spot and going ahead and making that stop.
Tremendous job by the Argonauts defense to get their offense the football. But how many times have we said that in this ball game, waiting for Toronto to answer the call? They did it on a quick 4-play, 90-plus yard drive early on in this game. Got into the end zone. They've had a couple of other big positive moments, but they certainly have to put something together here. First down gain will help. Gets them up to, looks like, wow, actually second and
second and 1 here. And again, just like in the first half, this is a good 2nd and 1. Let this clock run down as much as you can. After this, get some yardage. Keep going. Put yourself in a position to win the game with a field goal. But keep running the clock down. Don't give Calgary an opportunity with anything. So you'll like these 2nd and 1s at the end of the game.
Hutchings in that defensive line trying to dig in right now for Dave Dickinson. Backs against the wall with 1:12 remaining. Toronto with the football control of the game as well. Saw the strong leg at the end of the first half of Brady Lister. And they hand it off on first down.
And you'd love Hicks to, I know he's trying to get the extra yardage. You see as you see him going lateral, you would like him just, I don't care if it's a 2-yard gain, just get your shoulders square. Don't lose yardage. Get your shoulders square, get north-south, get us 1 to 2 yards. We'll fix it on 2nd down. Calgary uses their timeout right there, Marshall, to conserve time for themselves after this play right here.
And it was Hicks in a little bit of discomfort at the end of that play, so we called for Isaiah Smith, the Guelph Griffins rookie, to check into the ball game. 11th overall pick in this year's CFL draft. So he'll stand alongside Chad Kelly on 2nd and 10 from the Calgary 43. And they'll pull it and go for a home run shot over the top. Drop it into the bucket to Monte Coxie. How's that for a big play in a big moment?
I mean, and everything about this call, you're like, well, you're going to take a shot downfield or express man at the end of the game when you could just hand it off to make your field goal better. But Chad Kelly delivers, locates his ball to his primary target all season long. That's a beautiful throw. Ensures them a new set of downs. They can run the ball twice, run this clock down, kick the field goal.
Folks, they've blown some kisses to the Argos fans that have come to support in the August home opener as Kelly hands it off inside, turning the legs. Isaiah Smith, solid gain, squares it up as well. And Kelly, we've seen it 3 or 4 times tonight, Lappa, where he just decides, regardless of what you expect with down and distance and tendency and how this is all supposed to go, the script is written that you should do blank. And then Chad Kelly goes,
Well, I mean, and thank God he's a great, accurate thrower, does good things. You know, I don't want to, like that he can locate the football. That was a beautiful throw right there.
Keep it on the ground once again in the middle of the pile. Obviously, ball security is king.
And you go back to that point, Marshall. If that was an incomplete, the clock stops, first of all. So it helps Calgary. And you're still kicking a long field goal for a, you know, a first-year kicker. Now, he's already kicked a long one this game, but that's a great throw, great catch by Coxie. As this clock keeps winding down and they get the field goal.
Dave Dickinson staring down a 5th loss of the season. It seemed like they were in control at various points of this ball game, just waiting on the offense to find a way. He's had a couple of tough games here on the road in Toronto through the years. And it's Brady Lidster. Just an 11-yard attempt. They can't do anything to disrupt. Flags fly. Fully expect that will be against the Stampeders, but the Argonauts, with 11 seconds remaining, get the required points to get themselves back to 500.
Pyramiding or what? Let's see what this is.
They blew up the
center.
Yeah.
Not allowed to hit the center. Got to protect the center.
Play official Dave Foxcroft working through with our referee Tom Balesi.
Well, procedure. Calgary, 7 men lined up on one side. That penalty is declined. Field goal is good.
Get another look at it.
So you're not allowed, like you're supposed, they don't want you having too many guys aligned to one side, because when you go to make a block, it's a player safety thing. So they've changed how many players can line on one side of the line of scrimmage.
Fitting, don't you think, that after the Toronto Argonauts spent so much time not in their home building because of football, that it would be the kicker that gets them the victory in their
bring it back to World Cup a little bit,
opener. Why not?
And if the Calgary Stampeders, like, how do we lose this game, right? How do they lose this game? Offensively, they struggled. Vernon Adams was under pressure all night. They didn't score. They had a couple opportunities in the red zone early, and they didn't score. And Chad Kelly just hung around. Was able to make some throws down the stretch. It just shows, like, you have to make sure, no matter, you know, coming off the bye week, the short weeks, you got one team off the bye, one team on a short week. Toronto hung around, made their plays.
Mike Miller, masterful job of managing the schedule and the calendar at the start of the season, but this, a dangerous return is some time burning off the clock. He was in a decent position, and with 3 seconds left, I mean, they were close to being within range of quick completion and try to get a long field goal attempt, but here comes Vernon Adams Jr.
3 seconds left, so you're gonna, you know, this is, if you wanted to kick this is a 59-yard, more than that. It's going to be, so you can't kick it. So you have scenarios of, like, okay, if it's under a 60, if it's longer than a 60-yard field goal, what is the football play? Normally, most teams are going to call Hail Mary, Big Ben, where everybody runs down to a spot, you try to throw it up. You work on this in training camp, and you work on it day before a game, and everybody runs down. You have good protection, you climb the pocket, and then you throw it into the end zone.
BA lets it fly, hanging in the air, and it'll be intercepted on the night where he throws his first of the season, and the first in a very long time, 299 attempts to be exact. The final play will be another officially on the score sheet, albeit not Vernon's fault, but man, what a football game between these two teams.
Yeah, congratulations to Coach Miller. First win at home. It wasn't pretty, but again, you don't really care as a coach whether pretty or not. You just care about getting the 2 points. Huge 2 points for them as they continue to try to figure out where they're going to be in this playoff hunt in the East.
That will do it for us from here in Toronto, as Chad Kelly started out with a couple of early interceptions. Sam Hicks had a fumble in the very first offensive play. They battle back into the ball game. They take it away from VA, and the Argonauts somehow, someway, get the victory here at home. It took a long time to get inside their own doors, but they send their fans home happy. Friday Night Football coming up for you tomorrow. For now, we'll send you off to SportsCenter with Adam Scully and Matt Scooby.